was my dead dragon? Where did it come from? So it was about like 17 years ago, and I was having this conversation with a woman, and she was raging, like she was just raging, because she realized that she bought into this idea that if she just did all the right things, this Prince Charming was going to show up and she'd have this happily ever after. And so she had put her dreams, her goals, her desires on hold. And she woke up one day and realized, like, this Prince Charming isn't showing up. He's not coming. And this metaphorical dragon that's been guarding me has died. So literally, what do you do with a dead dragon? And this was 17 years ago. And I've been thinking about this concept ever since. It's been kind of like percolating in my brain. And really, I've noticed where I've had times where I put my dreams, my goals, my desires on hold for someone or something else. And then when I took an even deeper look, when I got really, really honest with myself, I realized that in a lot of ways, I'd never even really given myself permission to ask what it is that I wanted out of life and what was important to me. And I felt that somehow it was selfish, or that I didn't deserve it, that I wasn't worthy of it, or what I wanted didn't matter. And the deeper I looked, the more I realized that deep, deep down, there was this belief that there was something wrong with me and that I didn't matter, And so my life matched that belief, and I had roller coaster results. And so with the work that I do, and, years of process and learning and studying and being on my own journey, I've learned that I'm not alone in this belief, and that actually so many people have the same belief, that they're damaged, that they're not enough, that they're flawed, and that maybe they don't actually deserve happiness, love, success, health, and abundance. And so that's really how the podcast was born. And because I've done the work to get to a place where I know how to create and live a life that I love. I know that what I want matters. I know that I'm enough. I know that I deserve to have all that I want out of life. And that's really what I support people to do in my coaching programs, is to help them connect to that part of themselves that knows, and then to actually create and live that life that they love, and then to really repattern all of those limiting beliefs that don't serve them anymore. And so my intention really is to support you, to inspire you, and to let you know that you're not alone in feeling the way that you do. And that there's nothing wrong with you, and that you deserve to live an amazing and abundant life. And so every 10 episodes, you're going to hear from me. And like I said, I'm going to share techniques, information, ideas that you can use right away to support you in your journey of becoming the heroine and main character of your own story. And so, how do you start? How does this even start? So the first step is where you recognize that the current situation isn't working. There's something about your life that isn't working. And so it's actually through this feeling of like either longing or discontent. And so these are things that you want to learn how to tune into. So the longing, it's like you're looking on social media and you see that somebody just had this trip, or there's maybe like a memory that comes up in your feed about this trip that you took. And there's this like quickening within you, like, oh, I would love to do that. Or you see like Paris on a TV show and you're like, oh, I would love to go walk the streets of Paris. That's that longing. It's the longing for something that maybe you haven't experienced before, the longing for something more in your life. You might, if you're in a relationship that isn't really fulfilling in the way that you would love it to be, maybe you see a couple who's like madly, deeply in love, and there's this longing for that. Like you want that for yourself. You see someone who's in vibrant health and vitality, and you want that. You want to be climbing, the mountains, or swimming, or diving, or biking, or dancing, or whatever it is that you want to do to express your physical well-being. It might be in your bank account. Maybe you're having trouble paying bills every month and it feels like you're living paycheck to paycheck. So it's this longing for stability and financial abundance. So it's the longing, and then it's also the discontent. So the discontent would be looking at areas of your life where you're not fully satisfied. So this would look like areas where you want improvement. So maybe you have a relationship and there's a lot of conflict, or you don't feel fully heard or supported or seen or loved. Maybe you're doing work and you feel like you're not really bringing your full self into the world, or it feels like you're, kind of paying bills until you die. So it's this discontent where it's just like, this is not working. And you can, when you look back and listen to the previous episodes, you can see like, oh, that was the longing in her story, or that was the discontent. So that's the first step, is recognizing, okay, this is not working for me, and really tuning into the longing and discontent. And so what I know, and what you've heard in the stories and what I see when I work with my clients, is that when we ignore the longing and discontent, and really, I have a lot of experience in my life in ignoring the whispers of the universe, it actually turns up the volume. And so the way that looks like is that maybe we have an illness or an accident or financial ruin or a divorce or a disaster. So when we ignore the longing and discontent, life turns up the volume. So I'm going to invite you right now to just consider the possibility that the longing and discontent that you notice in yourself, in your life, that is actually the voice of the universe wanting to express through you. That is the way that you are here to uniquely show up in the world. So recognizing that the current situation isn't working, right? Whatever elements about that situation, that's the first step. The second step in really becoming the main character of your own story is getting to know yourself and what's important to you, and to learn how to tune into the part of you that actually knows, right? There's a really powerful, highly calibrated question that I work with my clients. And the question is, what would you love? What would you love? And I can remember sharing that with a woman one day, and she said it was like this mic drop in her brain, because she'd never considered, what would I love? What does that mean? What does that mean? So as you're listening right now, asking yourself, what would I love? And when's the last time you gave yourself permission to even think about that?